Good morning and welcome back to the One Celtic Fans View this morning. Big shout out to Stephen Johnston this morning. Good morning, everyone else in the chat, and especially good morning and thank you. And I mean this with the bottom of my heart. Thank you to everyone who has subscribed to the channel over the last day. I wanted to get to 28,000. I know it's not a big number compared to some of the other Celtic channels. I know that, right? Don't care. I want to get to 28,000 before the game tomorrow. And it looks like we can do it today. We're on 27,940. Please help me get to 28,000 this weekend. I absolutely appreciate it. Just that little, hit the subscribe button. It is free to subscribe to the channel. Don't go on about membership and stuff like that. That's completely different, but that's just other ways that people can help support the channel. I love the fact that we're getting to 28,000. I truly do. And thank you to every single one of you that has subscribed in the last 2 days. It's been absolutely phenomenal. What a couple of days we've had as Celtic fans. It's been unbelievable. I'm going to get to the Arne Engels one in a minute. We all know that Alistair Johnston is out for around 6 weeks. Celtic have slapped a £20 million for sale sign, £20 million valuation on Alistair Johnston. It's interesting that even though he's injured and he's out for the 6 weeks, will Everton still make a move for the player? Will Davy Moyes come down to it? I think the fact that he's injured, will that put Davy Moyes off going for the player? And could you imagine if Celtic do still sell Alistair Johnston, even though he is injured? I can't see it happening. No club. You don't know, do you? 20 million, it's good money for Alistair Johnston. It looks like Celtic are putting themselves in a position to bring in someone else. But it's all down to Everton now, isn't it? It's how much do they really, really want Alistair Johnston? And if 20 million is what they want, I would take it all day long. I didn't think he was worth... I thought we were giving him away at 15 million. 20 million, is he worth more than that? That's cheap for a player down in England. That's dirt cheap. Come on, let's face it. He's going to the Premiership. He's going to the top league, unlike Arne Engels. We'll talk about Arne Engels in a minute because the true valuation of Arne Engels came out late last night after I came off air. It was coming out of West Ham that it was 22 million. It's not. It's 25 million up front, like it was reported a couple of days ago, and 30 million. But a couple of comments coming in. I'm going to jump straight into the comments this morning. And want to get as many of your comments in as possible. And if I don't get your comments in, I do apologise. Everyone's saying good morning. He's back in September. If it was 6 months, not 6 weeks, it might change things. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I mean, if you are... They had a scout up looking at him at the weekend, and then they seen him play the first half. Was that enough for them to go, do you know what? It's he's worth every penny of it. Because that's cheap. That's dirt cheap. It really is, isn't it? And you're right. If it was 6 months, it maybe put Everton off. Can that deal still be done? Can Celtic get in another 20 million? That would be a phenomenal summer for Celtic. The amount of money that we would if we sell Alistair Johnston. Jesus, the income. And then we can still get into the Champions League. Both the bank balance will be going like that. Good morning, everyone. And Baz says, Richard. Left back, we missed for registering for the Champions League. I am going to get to that also. We missed the deadline for, and I'm going to, the reason is there's been other clubs interested in the player and Chelsea couldn't get the deal agreed yesterday. Another injury for Alistair Johnston, needs to be sold for 15 million, says Big Rab. Good morning to you. It's confirmed on Sky Sports about Engels. It's confirmed on Sky Sports. Well, it was kind of confirmed last night, but it's good that Sky are now putting it out. And good luck to Arne Engels. Don't know. I don't think it's the best move for him. I spoke about it last night. It's a cracking deal. I thought 22 million was a bit cheap. 25 million cash up front. That's what was rumoured that they said they were going to do. 30 million in total. If they get up to the Premiership, it then goes up to 30 million. That's a fantastic piece of business by Celtic. absolutely fantastic. And for all the doubters that said Arne Engels is not worth 25 to 30 million, well, you've got egg on your face this morning because Celtic have went and got the deal done. And, well, it's got to be said, we're all lining up to go to the Celtics. We're all lining up to go to the Celtic Superstore. I'm joking. No, but seriously, what does this window do? Well, I'm going to talk about this later. We've got a bit of time this morning. A fantastic summer. It's been a summer that's been long overdue. Let's face it. We've brought in quality players. We sold Dyson Maeda a bit cheaply. We got good money for Lewis Palmer. You know, we let other players go. We had a massive change around 14, 15, 16 players left at the end of the season. We were getting a bit concerned coming into the transfer window because Martin O'Neill, let's face it, let's be honest with each other, just between me and you. Martin O'Neill said that he wanted the players in early. We take Martin O'Neill, his word is gospel. Do you know, he wanted the players in early so they could get a full pre-season. He's not been the only manager to turn around and say that I want players in early, I want players to go through a full pre-season. You know, Ange Postecoglou said it. Ange Postecoglou would say, buy the player in the January window so they get the full pre-season. We buy a player in the January window, don't look for him to be making an impact in the squad. We know that we're buying him then because we know there's players going to leave in the summer, and that's the replacement. So it gives them 6 months settling in period. He was a good manager. You know, and it's a shame that we didn't keep him a bit longer. But then again, Brendan Rodgers came back and ruined everything at Celtic, playing his side-to-side passing stuff and killing the great football that Ange Postecoglou brought. And then Martin O'Neill came back and had to try and fix things. And to think that all these years later, being out football, and yes, he answered the call to Dermot, his close friend, and he would do anything for Dermot, and he pulled Celtic out the in November when he came back late October, and then we went through the Wilfred Nancy debacle. When you think about what we've went through, it's only August, and what we've went through as a support for being. I mean, I was convinced in December that there was no chance we could win the league. No chance. I was convinced. And I hold my hands up and I said it on air in December. I don't think that we can win the league, especially with Wilfred Nancy and losing all those games. Wilfred Nancy then gets sacked. Martin O'Neill comes in. Even when Martin O'Neill, when we got beat up in Dundee, I'm like, if we win the league, it'll be because the other teams collapsed, and they did. We had to win 7 games. We won the 7 games. We won the league. We go into the summer. We're waiting to find out if Martin O'Neill's going to take the job on a full-time basis. We're waiting. It takes a couple of weeks to get sorted out. Then you've got the Fozzie and Sean Maloney debacle when you're thinking, what's wrong with the board? And then you've got the Sriracha deal. It was the easiest deal to get done. Oxlade-Chamberlain should have been done the last day of the season. If you're keeping that guy, get it done. He's away training in Portugal himself. And then you're thinking, what's going on at Celtic? They've not learned a thing. Celtic are bringing out merchandise after merchandise after merchandise. The fans are starting to get a little bit tetchy, including myself. And then you're thinking, they've not learned anything. We're a shambles. We're a week away from the Champions League, just over a week away from the Champions League, and Celtic go, all right, lads, here's a couple of signings for you. Michael Nicholson doesn't talk like that, but he finally woke up from being asleep at the wheel. And then, really, I mean, I think everyone to the Superstore. I know that it's just a joke. I know it's not a joke. It is official on Sky Sports. Officially on Sky Sports. West Ham agreed a deal for Arne Engels. Latest from Sky Sports. West Ham agreed a deal for Arne Engels. It says 22 million for Engels on there. It does say it's 22 million on Sky Sports. So I'm not sure who to believe, because you think that Sky are going to get it right, or Sky, I don't know. Anyway, he's done and dusted. It doesn't matter what the amount is. He's gone, and we get on with it. So Broke 5 minutes ago. That is the deal's done. It's over and done. But we look forward to seeing what players that Celtic can bring in now. So, with that being said, let's jump back into the comments this morning. Alistair Johnston won't pass a medical to sign for Everton, even if they wanted to do that. But surely they know the injury. We've had medicals before. I mean, John Hartson failed a medical at Rangers and then did one for us. Our Swedish striker is the best signing in some quality in some time. Yeah, he is that. I'm just running through. Yeah, there seems to be her 22 to 25. People talking about. I'm not really sure. And I'm buying the away strip with who on the back. The border showing ambition makes me happy. Does it? Tell me in the comments. Does it make you happy that Celtic are? Of course it does, doesn't it? I mean, who wouldn't be happy with some of the signings that we've brought in? If we could bring in now. We're looking at a Canadian right back that could be the replacement for Alistair Johnston in the long term. If we bring him in, we need a left back. I'm not too sure about the 18-year-old coming in from Chelsea. I think that demeans the position a bit, bringing him in, and then some of the younger player that we've got, Adam Montgomery, what does it say to him? Looks like he's not going to make it at Celtic. But anyway, 22 plus 20% sell on clause. Happy for Engels. Yeah. Time to go to the superstore. I need a new baseball cap. Yeah, I think I need to I need to have a trip home. And Alan Nixon claimed it was 25 million, with add-ons up to 30 million, a Scottish record. But then Sky are coming out saying this morning it was 22 million. Are they getting their sources from the West Ham site that broke the news, or we'll wait and see. Celtic won't come out and tell us, that's for sure. So we'll wait to see. Hope Alistair Johnston stays until January and we get a Rocco then. Do you think a Rocco's injured as well just now? It's one of those things. I don't think that we're going to go for a Rocco. I think that there's more chances going for the other Canadian lad. Celtic seem to like him. So we'll wait and see. Come on to Paul Baird. Hope you're good this morning. This isn't ambition. Oof. Hoopsaholic right in this morning. This isn't ambition. It's treading water, replacing players gone 2 years ago. Weak in the middle, and Europe is going to show that. Do you think so? Do you think that Mika Bauer, who excelled at his club last year, who had the chance to stay at his club and play in the Bundesliga, but decided to jump ship and come to Celtic? Because Nico Kuhn, he's got the same agent as Nico Kuhn, and Nico Kuhn says, if you've got the chance, jump at it. He could have stayed in Germany, Mika, but he wanted to come to Celtic, and he agreed to deal weeks ago, didn't he? Celtic just took their time. I want that away strip with Bauer. He's going to be a great player, in my opinion, says Danny. Get Greg Taylor back. That's a simple thing to do. I'm not too sure about the whole Greg Taylor thing. I mean, his dad would probably prefer if he went to Rangers. Despite all the signings, says Big Bruce, remember we haven't spent anything, still net profit. Does that really worry you though? You were always going to be in profit this summer when you sell Arne Engels, if it is 25 million, say, right? 10 million for Dyson Maeda, and plus another 5-6 million for all the other players that's been sold. And then if we get another 20 million, and then you've still got the money from Rio Hatate. Rio Hatate still wants away. So Celtic could be on the, Celtic could bring in 45-50 million. Does it concern you that, we've spent, I think that it's been a good summer. I'm going to say it. I think it's been a good summer so far. I think it could still be better. We still know that Celtic are actively looking for a goalkeeper. We've brought in 2 strikers, which is fantastic. We've brought in Hassan, which is, I think that he's going to rip it up. I think that we still need another winger. Celtic are still looking at another winger. We've still got Jota to come back. I think come the second half of the season, towards the end of the Champions League campaign, we could have a phenomenal team the time Jota comes back into this squad. And I'm talking about getting back to the sexy type of football that we played under Ange Postecoglou. And it sets it up fine. I know we've got the full season to go yet. But Martin O'Neill has come out and said, I want a squad of players that the next manager, whoever that may be, the next manager that comes in is going to look at this squad and go, you know what, there's some fine players there at Celtic. You know, another couple of little additions of real quality in certain positions. You know, I know that Celtic's trading model is we'll sell the players in a couple of years, but this is a squad that I think we could maybe do things for. And here's the bigger caveat to take away. Are we setting ourselves up for heading for the squad to just be dominant in Scottish football again, heading to a third 9 in a row? I know it's years away yet, but this was the point that we started talking about 9 in a row the last time. And I was confident, no matter what Rangers did, I was confident that time that we would do the 9 in a row. And I said then the 10 will be hard. And I'll say the same again. I'm confident that if Celtic stay on the same trajectory, never mind about the board stuff, never mind about Dermot, but if they stay on the same trajectory over the next few years, Celtic will get a third 9 in a row. Can we get the 10? That is the big one. Now, with that being said, we want to progress in European football. We don't want to just turn up and players, we want to hold our own. I'm not saying that we're going to get to the last 8, the last 4, but consistently getting to that last 16 would be good. If we get our arse whipped in the last 16, so be it, because these countries have got a lot more money. But anyway, let's get ahead of ourselves, because we need to get through the game this weekend. Dundee United away in the Premier Sports Cup. I will be doing a watch along for that. I'll need to use other software for that so that we can use this software. Anyway, that's an issue that you don't really need to know about at this current moment. Anyway, there's been a big jump up in the numbers this morning. Thank you to everyone who has subscribed. We are getting there. Slowly but surely. It's been a massive jump up yesterday. Thank you to everyone who has subscribed to the channel. Once again, 27,946 is today the day. Whoa. And will Celtic sign any more players today? Right. Celtic missed the deadline last night, and I'm just going to show you the UEFA squad. Although the deadline was last night, the UEFA squad hasn't been published by UEFA as yet. There is the UEFA website. This will hopefully be updated today, so we will have the full squad. So I will, as soon as that comes on, I will come on later on this afternoon, probably around about 5 o'clock time again. And we've got Martin O'Neill's interview, first interview since he was in hospital, first interview since we bought all the players. Whoa, what a week it's been for Martin O'Neill. Well, what a couple of weeks it's been for Martin O'Neill. And I've got to say, he's looking a lot healthier. So you can all the people saying that Rabbi Keane is coming. Rabbi Keane is coming. We can calm down, because Rabbi Keane is not coming anywhere near it, because Martin O'Neill will see the season out. And let's hope he has a fantastic season. Anyway, right, Celtic missed out on the deadline for the 18-year-old from Chelsea for the left back, Landon Emiliano. So we'll wait and see what happens with that. There are a couple of other clubs, but Celtic could still bring him in. There's 2 players that we could still bring in before next Wednesday. And I think you've got to have them in the squad 24 hours before the game. So there's still a bit of business for Celtic to get done. Excuse me. There's still a bit of business for Celtic to get done this weekend. We might bring in 2 on Tuesday. Excuse me. Danny says he's got to go. With all the youth players like Hatton and etc. be added to the Champions League, well, we'll find out, Jim. We will find out as soon as UEFA puts out the official squad. It will be some point today. Celtic had to submit the squad by 11:59 last night. It's what? Central European time. It's 10 to 10. Cowboy time. Anyway, we move on. Sean will be the next manager. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's just enjoy Martin O'Neill first of all. Get new midfielders in the door. Well, we've got one midfielder. We're going to need to get another one. I wonder if we'll get the guy from Torino. We'll wait and see. I'm not going to make any predictions on the players that we're going to get in at Celtic, because there's been speculation over the summer, obviously, with lots of players that we've been linked with, and nothing's happened, players that we've been linked with for a long time, and they finally have happened. Nobody really expected us to get Kasper Huyen, did they? Let's be honest, you're sitting about a month and a half ago, I don't think anybody really thought that we'd get Kasper in from Bodo Glimt, but we have. So this transfer window could be one of the windows that changes a lot of people's minds about. Yeah, let's know how it's. UEFA squad is 25 players a max, says Stephen Sloan. Well, when you look at the squad, the first team squad, that is, we are sitting on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25 with the current players that we have. So, and that's not including Arne Engels in that. So it's going to be. Are you sure it's 25? I thought it was more than 25. Because you've got to have 3 goalkeepers. And that's not including the 3 goalkeepers. So, Stephen, are you sure that it's 25 players? I'm not so sure, so I'm just asking. And I'd prefer Celtic to go for Lennon Miller. Nah, not a chance. That's well past it. Too expensive. Chubber says, I never thought we'd get Kasper in a million years. Nah, neither did I. I'm going to be honest. Celtic have surpassed everything that... have they surpassed their hopes, or have they just went, we're going to show them? And is Martin O'Neill been the catalyst to saying, look, I'm not leaving this squad in a shitty mess for the next manager. I know I'm here for a year. I don't want another 10 players. Look at the players that were brought in the January transfer window. They never worked out. Some of the players never even got in the squad. I mean, when you look at Junior Adamu, he scores a goal, nice little backheeler flick thing, and then you never seen him again. And then there was the other winger. What was his name? And he played half an hour. 45 minutes he played, and then that was it. Never seen him again. It was like, what was the use in bringing those players in? So Martin O'Neill's obviously sat down with them and said, look, I want quality in, because I want to hand over and maybe the Celtic board have actually went, you know what, you're right, Martin. We're not just thinking about this season. And we know that some of these players are only going to be with Celtic for a couple of seasons, and the next manager will have to try and convince them to stay on for three seasons, and then you know what will happen, they'll be sold. But the fact is that Martin O'Neill has managed to do what Brendan Rodgers couldn't, and convince the board. I don't even want to talk about Brendan Rodgers anymore, because I've no idea what really was going on. Was Brendan trying to manufacture his exit way before he did? Who cares? He's gone and dusted. It's gone and gone. Celtic got to buy young and sell on. It's a fact. Yeah, that's true. Beat the Huns, 10 million. I'm not even wanting to laugh about that lot. That was enough last night. New signings seem to be sold on the club, which is great to see. It is, isn't it? It's players that want it. And I'm glad that Mika Bauer spoke to Nicholas Kuhn. And Kuhn said, if you've got a chance, go. It's a fantastic stadium. It's a fantastic atmosphere. It's a great club. I'm getting attacked by cats. What are you doing? Go and play over there, you crazy man. Yeah, I just think it's brilliant. So you've got players that really want to come and play for the club. But it doesn't take away the fact that we need to retain a Scottish core, because these players aren't going to be here forever. So players like Colby Donovan, whilst he's not up at the standard needed Alistair Johnston-wise, we need to bring him back up for Kieran Tierney, Tony Ralston. We're without Alistair Johnston. There's so many questions that Martin O'Neill will get asked today, and I could see it being one of those 23-minute press conferences today, and Martin O'Neill just won't have enough time to talk about everything, which is a shame. Get 2 more midfielders in, 1 winger, goalkeeper and right back. Ooh, flying columns in the house. How are you, mate? Hull was a major coup by the board, to be fair. I think the Hassan deal, I think that all the players, Celtic have surpassed their expectations. Let's be honest. They've surpassed my expectations of what you wanted them to do this summer. And then it all comes back down to this, doesn't it? Jokes. Anyway, right. We have around 23 players just now. We have 25. We have, we'll get it up on the screen just to show you. We have Sinisalo, Ross Dohan. We've got Alistair Johnston. He'll be in the squad even though that he's not fit. You've got Liam Scales. You have Austin Trusty. You've got Cameron Carter-Vickers. You've got Arne Montgomery, Dane Murray, Colby Donovan, Tony Ralston. That's 10. 11 is Kieran Tierney. 12 is Benji Negrin. 13 is Luke McCowan. 14 is Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. 15 is Callum McGregor. 16 you can say is Rio Hatate, but he will be sold. 17, will Jota be included? That's the big one. 17 is Jota. 18 is Kasper. Michelangelo Balak-Wisha. And then Duran. So we've got around about 25 as it stands. But we will lose. It's a hard one. Does Martin O'Neill include Jota into the Champions League squad? If he can't play the beginning games, but the games coming from November onwards would be ideal to have Jota in the squad, wouldn't you? So it's a weird one, because you don't want to leave Jota out the squad and then waiting to see if we get through to the playoff knockout phase. Because let's face it, that's our ambition, is just to get to the playoff knockout phase and then try and take that next step forward. So do you include Jota? Can he get back before the end of October? 2 months away yet. 6 weeks he needs to get up to pace now that he's just back on the training pitch. Get some hefty tackles put on us. Just get Kasper to tackle him a few times. Kasper goes through anybody, and I think that it's... but anyway, so we've still got players that need to come in. Registration is just for the playoff when we register again. Yeah, the registration is just for the 2 games that are coming up. The first game is next Wednesday, so just remember that. We can still bring in more players for the Champions League before, hopefully, we get to the Champions League proper. Doesn't make me happy. We should have done this 2 seasons ago. Panic made the board change the policies after what the fans, after what they put fans through and the football club through. Do you think it's been panic, or do you think it's been, we take the statements from the club and face value? I'm going to do a little bit of devil's advocate here, right? Brian Wilson come out and said at the beginning of the summer, we have learned from our mistakes from last year. Now, you could kind of say, okay, they have. They may have not done it as early as what we wanted, okay? But you could say that the board have learned, because they've brought in Kasper. They've brought in Camilo Duran, who scored 3 goals in pre-season. He's getting played out of position. I think it's a shame that we're going to end up using him as a winger. We need to get him either playing just behind the Kasper or play 2 up front. We re-signed Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. Fair enough for that one. And then we've brought in Hassan. Those are quality players. Yes, we still need some more. We need a replacement for Arne Engels. Mika Bauer, is he really the engine? We don't know, but I've not seen him play. There's a couple of messages on the channel late last night, this morning, people that had watched German football last year from Germany that are Celtic fans, and they said that he was brilliant in midfield and that he will not be as inconsistent as Arne Engels. He's a lot more consistent than Arne Engels. If he is that, it could be an absolute fantastic signing. Backwash, the mascot. I had a migraine laughing at the Huns last night. Yep, but too. Of course, Jota needs to be involved, but I bet Martin leaves him out, says James. If Jota's included, it's a true reflection of how his fitness is. Yeah, this is true. But no, we wait and see. Don't know if you can afford to include Jota. It'd be nice, but only the staff will know. Some more of the comments coming in. It's crazy, huh? Do you think that Fergus McCann had any hand in these signings, says Jim? And I noticed the comment where Jim says, do you think that he sneaked back into Celtic Park and says, this is how you sign players? No, not at all. Don't think he had anything to do with it, but it's a good bit of banter. Hospitals must have been busy. Doing brain transplants on the board, says Jerry. I get why some people never look to credit the board after the last couple of seasons. Completely understand. But let's try and be united now. And finally, they are finally doing what we all want. I think that's a fair comment, mate. I do. I think that's a fair comment. I did say, I wondered why the Celtic Fans Collective and all these other organisations hadn't put out a strategy of what was going to happen the next season. They kind of sat back and waited. And I think that the board has played a blinder. I think that the overall fan base now will say, yeah, do you know, I don't think that there's any need for... I mean, there will be some people within the fan base that say, nope, sack the board, even though that sacking the board means nothing. When you've still got Dermot Desmond in charge. If you want change, the change has to be Dermot Desmond, not necessarily Nicholson and all the rest of them. Yes, they can get moved on, but they're only puppets for Dermot Desmond. Real change comes from getting rid of him, and that's not going to happen anytime soon. So do we have the unity? We had the unity at the end of last season. It kind of waned a bit over the summer. People were getting a bit negative towards the club again, and including myself. I was getting it's frustration more than anything. I don't think the negativity today wasn't. I think it's frustration with the board and the fact that, you know, the board didn't act as quick as what we wanted. But you've got to be saying, I think that is a very, very fair comment by Craftstar. I get why some people never look to credit the board after the last couple of seasons. Completely understand, but let's be united now. And finally, they are finally doing what we all want. It'll be interesting to see some of these. Jesus, poor old Dale has aged since July. It's great that they're already shouting for his head. I mean, he's not won a competitive game as yet. The banter years. He's a shite manager. Let's face it. He's a crap manager, and he could never beat Celtic. Gone before the transfer window closes. Oi, oi, oi. Chelbo says, hit the thumbs up button, people. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, we're just taking another wee jump. We're getting there. We're getting so close. I'd love to stay on until we hit 28,000 this morning, but I've got a lot of stuff that I need to do today. So I will hopefully jump back on later today when it hits that 28,000. And thank you again to everyone who has subscribed. I mean it. It's phenomenal that we're getting to that 28,000. The next big one is the 30,000. I want to get to that before the end of the season. Can we do that? That would be fantastic if we did. I know it's just a number, but it's great. We've built a great community here, and so let's jump back into that community because it's not all about me. Lubo, Malby, Recef weren't signed until October in '98. Back in the good old days where you could sign people later on. Just get rid of that. If Engels' price is correct, we are in profit. Don't forget, this is very true. I think it's foolish to sell Engels in this transfer window, says Christopher. Wait until the qualifiers are done. Let's wait and see what type of player Mika Bauer is. And Celtic are still in the market for a holding midfield player. Celtic are still in and around about... I mean, you've got the player from Hibs that wants to come to Celtic. And even Hibs have come out and said, this player wants to go to Celtic, so it's in Celtic's court. It's in Celtic's ballpark. It's whether Celtic get the deal done or not. So there's lots still to be done in the transfer window. You've got to remember that we're only on the 14th of August. The transfer window closes in Scotland on the 3rd of September. We're way ahead of schedule. Way ahead of what we would of normal windows. So we'll wait and see. Come on, St. Mirren. Can I find the streaming channel for Lask? That's a week away yet. Does Bauer sit in the midfield in front of the back four and let McGregor push on? I'm not too sure. I still think that Celtic are looking for a holding midfield player to allow Callum McGregor to play further forward. We have to cut the board some slack now whilst still keeping an eye on them. The board need to lift the ban on those Green Brigade members next. There are still two Green Brigade members that are still banned by the board, and that's just the board being arseholes. But hopefully that does get lifted soon. Us Celtic fans are surprised they finally got the checkbook out, but the Huns are totally shocked. Right up, you said, Keith. Paddy Power trolling again. 2 more managers before Christmas. It wasn't just Paddy Power. If you've seen the video last night of the password, I'm going to see if I can get the. If you didn't see it last night. Where is it? Get it up on here. I'm going to show you this, because if you didn't see this last night, talk about getting trolled. This was the team that were playing at Ibrox last night that put Rangers out of the Europa. A lot of people saying that the team was the correct Wi-Fi password, and talking about being trolled. When you look at this, I'll get rid of the comments. So this was the game. This was after the game last night. Correct Wi-Fi password. I need to bring that down a bit. I'll bring it down there. Wait a minute. Correct Wi-Fi password. Talking about getting trolled by a team that's in 6th position in the Polish league, and as you can see there, they type in. Now the funny thing about this is they're sitting in the home dugout. Sitting at the home dugout at Ibrox on a laptop. And taking the pure and utter password, and his show password, and he types in Rangers FC. Oh, imagine getting beat by a password, and then he types in the password to join the That was one of the funniest things. That's getting the arse ripped out of you in your own stadium by an opposing team. That is one of the best come downs ever. That's better than, I'm not joking, Celtic couldn't even do that in that ground. It is hilarious, and putting that out there is one of the funniest things ever. I don't know. Bears out of Europe before Martin finishes his antibiotics. Oh man. McInnes and Shankland, Beavis and Butthead. Yeah, that's true. New Paddy Power adds are class. Rangers fold again. Yeah, that was brilliant last night as well. Rangers we've had a good run since 2012. I think we just fold the club again. Brilliant. Anyway, right, that is pretty much done and dusted for this morning. What time is it? How long have we been on? Let me just do this and check this. Yeah, we've been on for 39 minutes this morning. I've got stuff that I need to get on with. Thank you to everyone who has been on. Let's see what Celtic do today. If Celtic make any more announcements. Today we were hoping to have a player in last night, and we didn't. So There'll be some crack if they don't qualify for the Conference League. Yeah, it's going to be possession. The Huns are in 9th position. The post Patrick are doing better than the Huns. Yeah, they're doing that. Paddy Power was having a party last night. It was that. Anyway, the Bears are in hibernation for the season. Right, that's me done and dusted. Thank you to every single one of you who has subscribed to the channel over the last couple of days. It means a lot to me. We are sitting on 27,954. Will this be the day that we hit 28k? Party all the way. Paul says... we are the people. We avoid third place. I don't even think that McInnes will get them to third place. Anyway, who cares about them? It's all about Celtic. I will be back on later on today. We'll have one last look at the Champions League squad listings. It's not changed as yet. Refresh the page. The squad list is not available as yet. And then I'll see you all in the afternoon. Cheers for that, mate. Have an absolutely fantastic day, Celtic fans, wherever yous are. I tell you, everyone's walking about with a smile today, and you're walking into work today. If you're already in work, you're like that. All right, mate? Oh, Jesus. Anyway, have a fantastic